Imagine every day you wake up, you dread going to this place. Every day you don't want to go. You're around people you don't like and don't like you. You even hate the sight of the building. When you go, you do a job you don't like, around managers that don't respect you. And every day while you're at work, you count the minutes. No, you count the seconds to each break. You count the seconds until you get off. The only time you feel happy about going to work is when you're clocking out. It's your worst job ever. It's Dark Knight Radio. I'm Dark Knight. What's happening? What's your worst job ever? It can be your first job. It can be your current job, but be careful. Why? Now, I know my worst job ever, and I don't plan on going back no time soon, so I'm going to say it. My worst job ever was my first real quote-unquote job. It was UPS. Now, I know that may have surprised people close to me who know what I went through in my last job before the current one. But my worst job ever was UPS. Now, when you're 16, 17, 18, you get that first job, you're excited because you're grown up now. It's that responsibility you have. So you have a job, you get that first paycheck and you spend it. Ah, man, that you go into a state of euphoria. Can nobody tell you nothing when you get that first paycheck? Your parents, your friends, you can buy whatever you want to buy because you worked for it. You clocked in, you clocked out. Why is UPS my worst job? Well, let me paint this picture for you. Imagine going to a job, right? Now, I'm down here in Atlanta, and the hub UPS store is in Doraville. Anyone who worked at UPS currently or in the past, you guys know about this. Now, the building is one way in, one way out. It's the biggest building in Doraville, I think. Doraville train station is depressing, it's isolated. And the route, the drive, the bus drive, back then I had a car, back then I didn't have a car, so I had to drive MARTA. And you go there and you pass a lot of depressing looking buildings. And you get to this big building, and it's funny because when the first day of the job, the bus was packed. It was like 50 to 75 people. I mean, it was wall to wall. It was elbow to elbow. And I'm wondering, okay, man, like Doraville must have a bunch of jobs that people go to. When I tell you, on this bus route, it was one bus stop to one building, and that was the UPS warehouse. All right, now follow me. Imagine going to a job every day. You have to go through security clearance just to get to the building, which is like almost half a mile. So you got to walk past the metal detectors, a long parking lot, and a long stretch of UPS trucks. Okay, then you get to this UPS hub, right? And when you just starting out, you don't get the good jobs like a UPS driver or a driver's assistant. Oh no, you're gonna start at the bottom, baby. You're gonna be the two things: a loader. You're gonna be either a truck loader or a person who unpacks the truck. Now me, I was a loader, which means they gave me a truck, an 18-wheeler, or a box truck. And what they do is the surveyor, he'll give you a bunch of boxes within like 5 or 6 hours for your particular area. Let's just say you got anywhere from Atlanta to Doraville to like Gwinnett. Like it's like your particular area was based off like an address or something, like zip codes. Everybody had their own little zip codes in which they had to load every day. So you were responsible for those addresses or those cities or those zip codes, however they gave it to you. You were responsible for packing those areas. So I had my areas, and when I first started, I didn't get real training, so I'm just throwing boxes in the back of the truck with no real training. And it's cold during this time. It's in the middle of December or January, and I got a big bubble coat, right? But I'm sweating, so it makes you want to take the coat off, in which everybody know that's sick time, that's flu time. So they give you this, and they get mad at you. I remember, I can laugh about them, but they got mad at me a bunch of times because I couldn't load the truck efficiently or in a timely manner. And then when I finally hit like a little stride, it would take me longer because I'm trying to play real Tetris with the truck. I'm trying to go box by box and create walls and walls and walls, like a couple of people told me to do in passing. So I'm in a truck, I got my rhythm, and it's the first day, and a bell rings, like a bell, like assembly line bell. It said break time. I said cool. Let me refuel real quick and get back to it. Let me get a honey bun or a Gatorade or something. I step off. This is no lie. I step off the truck. I step off the belt and I go and get some water, right? I check my phone. This lasts 2 minutes. I look up. They ring another bell. Time to get back to work. I said, hold on, wait. This can't be right. Like I ain't even go on break. I ain't even go to the restroom. Oh no, we don't take breaks. We take like water breaks. We don't take 15, 30-minute breaks here. You go get your honey bun at the vending machine, you come right back, load this truck. And I'm like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. So every day, in my brain, in my logical brain, I'm thinking, what's the point? Apropos, there was other people who smoke cigarettes, get their little cheese sandwich, ginger ale, and all this here. That's not enough for that job. Now, I'm gonna get to the pay in a second. So, UPS back then, it was a job in which you had to work if you were on your last leg or you were just starting out. It wasn't a glamorous job that you just wanted to take and tell people. For a lot of people, it was their second or third job. A lot of people worked that job who had child support, who had mouths to feed. I don't know why, looking back on it, I took that job. It back then, and we talking about 2010, 2011. This is 10, 11 years ago. This job is not for a human being. Like the stuff we did on this job, it was people who would quit out of my group, out of my hiring group. There were like 3, 4, 5 people that quit the job the first day. Oh, I can't do this. It was people crying like, I can't do this, man. Throwing the vest at the manager, throwing that vest off. Might I add, every day was a fight on this job. Every day. Out of frustration, your nose to nose. Everything is in a timely manner. We got managers fighting managers. We got new people fighting new people. Every day was a fight. And I see why. Like looking back on it, I see why every day was a fight. I see why people quit this job. And the thing about me, I'm a guy that I'm a grinder. I'm a very hard worker. I'm not gonna complain too much. I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna stick my hands in the dirt, and I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna work for it. So I was seasonal at UPS, right? So when my time was up, they begging me, oh, Mr. Dark Knight. They didn't call me Dark Knight, they called me by my real name. But can you please stay? And thank God I was going to school that January to start the spring semester. So I'm thinking, ain't no way y'all can get me to come back, even work part-time to this job, and I'm a package handler. It can't be done with a 2-minute break. You're loading an 18-wheeler truck for 5-6 hours straight. There's no real breaks. And and you're really out in the cold because you're in the back of a trailer, so you're really outside for real. And so you run a risk of being sick. And one thing about UPS was after the end of every shift, you were hungry. Not hungry, but hungry. Like, there were times where I ran out of the building because I was so hungry. It was two. I remember it was two restaurants, and everybody, we had different shifts. You had the evening, the midnight, night, morning. You had like 4 or 5 shifts. Don't quote me because it's been a long time. You had like 4 or 5 shifts, and when my shift was over, everybody in my shift or my group would leave together. That's how they had it. That's how they had it structured. When I tell you, every day, matter of fact, it wasn't just my shift. The rites of passage is that when you got off, it was a known thing. You ran to either the Burger King or the Chinese restaurant. Every day I used to get the same fish sandwich combo supersized, or the like the double cheeseburger combo with the same 5 or 6 dudes. We were starving. It was like walking through a desert for miles and miles and getting a drink of water. That's how I felt after you left the shift at UPS, where you can go home and get you a bite to eat. It got to the point where Burger King became like my favorite restaurant for years, because it was hardwired into my brain, into my subconscious. If I'm hungry, I'm always gonna want Burger King. If I want to go out and get fast food, it's gonna be Burger King. So my brain was tricked into thinking, oh, Burger King is the end all be all. So now getting into the pay. The pay was about $7.35. I remember it. I remember buying, don't judge me, guys. My first pair of shoes I bought for my first check was a pair of Creative Recreations. Now, most of you are not, I'm a sneakerhead, so most of you are not going to know what Creative Recreations are. But if you keep it real, if you keep it a buck, you knew what Creative Recreations were. They was some kind of independent shoe company that had like a little 2-3 year stretch in which they was kind of popular. I like the design of the shoes, I'm not going to lie. I love Creative Recreation shoes. I had like 5 or 6 pair. And I remember buying a black pair of those with my first check and thinking, these shoes wasn't even that expensive, but a third of my check is already gone. Remember, this is weekly. This is not bi-weekly. So you're getting $7.35 an hour, right? And it's weekly. It's not bi-weekly in which you can double up, and make the check look like something. This is weekly. So you split that in half. Plus taxes, plus expenses for the week. You buy a MARTA card back then was $20-something. You ain't got no check for real. So at that time, you're basically working for charity. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was interviewing, the lady asked me, why do you want to work at UPS? And I was good at finessing on interviews. I'm like, for the money, for the chance to grow. She's like, the money ain't great. So I don't know, you can cancel that. And I looked at her and I started to quit then. When she told me that, because at that point they hadn't told me the price. So I'm like, well, what's the going rate then for my position? And that's not the interview for it, is what she told me. So I came in with a preconceived notion, this not going to be the best job. Now, granted, I met some cool dudes down there, some real dudes. Working at UPS was almost like jail. You know how jail have the when you work making license plates or burying dead, but that's how UPS kind of was when I was working there. It was where you surrounded by guys. These type of guys you don't see at a Target or Walmart. These are guys you see working at warehouses. Guys who probably did, might have, misdemeanor time or whatever. So I met some cool dudes. Now as far as the peer system was cool because you laughed every day. I'm not gonna lie, you had to make the best of it. I've seen managers fight. I've seen fight. It was entertaining, but as far as the workload, UPS is the worst job I ever had. I'm doing back-breaking work for money that the money. Like I feel sometimes I feel like I work for free at UPS. It's the worst job hands down I've ever had in my life, and I would never go back to UPS. What's your worst job ever and why? Was it the pay? Was it the people? Ain't gonna lie, sometimes people have a bearing on jobs. Either they nosy, they gossip, or my favorite or worst, they lazy. But they can complain about everybody else, but the laziest ones on the job. I hate them kind of coworkers. What's your worst job ever and why? I'm Dark Knight Radio. I'm Dark Knight. You guys be good. Be safe.